Hey everybody, happy Monday night. My name is Andrea Hill. I'm your conscious dating mentor and love coach, and I come to you live here every Monday night in and around 6:30 to talk to you about opening up your thought process, opening up your heart, shifting your perspective, and taking conscious, meaningful steps towards having a more rewarding and fulfilling romantic life, dating life. That's why I'm here for you. Tonight I really wanted to have a discussion about the difference between soulmate and an egomate. Now, that's not a word we hear very often, but hang on while I talk about this to give you a broader perspective on the difference between the two. The words seem quite obvious, but a lot of the time when we're thinking about our partners when we're dating or who our ideal mate would be, we use the word soulmate. It's used in film, movies, society. We hear about it growing up. People say, I found my soulmate, and then go on to get married. But what does soulmate really mean? I had a discussion with someone recently, and when I said, started the discussion about soulmates, their response was, well, I don't really believe in them. And based on what we're sold, I can understand why that would have been the response. But what I invited this person to do was actually break down the word. So I'll do the same for you right now. I invite you to think about what the word soul truly means to you. What is your soul? What does the soul of a being actually mean? What does it entail? Now, I think we all understand the value of our soul and our journey and connection to ours, but a lot of the time we get, let's say, distracted by our outer world, the outer packaging even, how we look, what people do, and find our value there as opposed to inwardly in our soul. But consider what the word soul actually means to you and how much you value what soul means. And then mate, very simply, is someone that we are in union with, our companion. It could be marriage, it could mean friendship, but it's in union with another individual. So if you think of the core beauty, goodness, the essence of what another person is, and them being your mate, this is someone who is in union through soul. Now, I'm sure when you have been having your time with dating or have read any books or watched any videos, lots of people encourage you to create the list of what you're looking for in another. And the reason why I'm talking to you tonight is I think when we create these lists, we have what we perceive as a soulmate in mind, but really what we're doing is creating oftentimes a list that's more in alignment with an egomate. Now, what I mean by an egomate are a list of things that are what we consider sometimes to make up an individual. The value of them on the outside, what they do for work, their education, whether they've been married before or not. Do they have kids? Do they want to have kids? What do they do for work? Have they traveled? What do they drive? Where do they live? We even consider hair color, eye color, height, weight, lifestyle. These are actually things that can compose and make up what we're looking for in an egomate. And the risk of doing this is actually that we can miss the essence of our soulmate. Now, I know I can probably hear some of you out there already saying, well, those things are important. But how they're important is if the reasoning behind why we live, what we've done, definitely less the aesthetic, but our passions in life, the work that we do, how we show up, whether we take care of our bodies, is a connection to soul. So if someone's just, for example, a lawyer because they want to make money, then their connection to their profession is ego-based. But if they're looking at being a lawyer because they want to create real change in the world, and they can do that in a different ways of being a lawyer, but I'll say a human rights lawyer, then the essence of the why behind their profession is soul-based. So I want you to really think about, if you've created a list or you want to go through that exercise, that you look through a lens of the person having attributes that actually speak to you on a soul level. Now, how do we get clarity around that? Well, the easiest way to do that is, as with everything I say with dating and relationship, it all begins within. So my question is, what's your soul composed of? What is the essence, the goodness, the gift of who you are on a soul level? Do you have a good relationship with that? Do you understand and value yourself? Dr. Ken Page uses a wonderful terminology, understanding your core gifts. What makes you unique as an individual? And this can be very much speaking to the essence of who you are on a soul level. And the deeper you can have that understanding of who you are and gain clarity through inner reflection, doing your own personal work, that these things can be more readily revealed to you. Now, relationships and the people that we meet are often a mirror of what's going on within us. So the clearest and surest way to get us in alignment with our soulmate is to get in alignment with our own souls, to do our own personal work. And what you'll see, as I'm sure any of you that have done your own personal development work, is that as you start to self-realize and deepen this connection, that the people in your life shift and change. Some relationships might grow and expand, others might just end and disappear. And it's in paying attention to these little things that we can have a deeper understanding of us and what we're wanting in partner. So it can be a slippery slope, especially if you are doing online dating or using apps. Those particular tools of dating really invite us to fall into the trap of the shiny object, because the majority of those are visual. What we're judging people based on how they look and their status, instead of really getting to the core level of soul. So I'm gonna sort of segue out here as things come to mind as I'm speaking with you tonight is that if you are online dating, what I invite you to do is reflect upon your own profile. Is it a true representation of who you are on a soul level? Are you speaking in your own voice? Are you sharing from a place of desiring deeper connection and wanting to know someone, sharing a part of yourself, and through that wanting to know someone on the kind of relationship that you're desiring? Or are you sharing things in a way to validate or in hopes of garnering acceptance or validation from others? Is it a laundry list of where you've been and what you have, or is it a beautiful expression of who you are? And this is how you can look at profiles online, whether the other person is actually being an expression of who they are. The reason I have issue with a lot of these online sites, and especially apps in particular, because they're all photo-based, and we have a short little snippet to kind of get an idea of someone is, that it distracts us from our own truth, our truth of what we're looking for and who we are, and it can skew things quite dramatically. So putting this in perspective as to what a soulmate is versus an egomate is a wonderful lens to look through to get more clarity. And then what I would invite you to do is actually look at your relationship with others from that soul level. How are you connecting with the people in your life? How are you connecting with people when you go on a date? What sort of communication are you having? Are you sharing from a soul-based level? This is how we call in attract and converse with those that we're really wanting to have a true meaningful relationship with. So sort of big scope of conversation tonight, but I think it's an important one, because when we are looking for a partner or are open to having a partner in our life and are actively dating or considering it, these are the things that we need to get clear on before we step into that arena. Otherwise, you can get distracted and get called into areas of unresolved pain or pattern that will take you out before you even get started. So getting clear about who you are and what you want is the first great step to be successful in dating. I'd love the conversation to continue in the comments below. If this resonates with you, weigh in. If you're more of the strong silent type and you're a little more private, of course, you can always PM me. And if you think this will resonate with others, I encourage you to share. I'll be here again live next Monday, shortly after 6 o'clock, to have another episode of Monday Love Live. And until then, continue the conversation just even with yourself or in your circle of community and friends. Or if you've got someone new that you're dating, what a great discussion to have to see if you're on the same page. Brave conversations, ones that matter. Until next time, sending you big, big love.